Hi.
Hey, hi. Long time no see. 10 seconds ago. Hi,
I
how are you?
know. I'm good. How are you?
I am good. I am very good. And the reason why we were a little late today is because I kept telling Lisa, no, we've got time. It's nowhere near 7 o'clock. My clock on the wall just is now saying 7 o'clock. My computer is just now 7 o'clock. And then I look up at the cable because you always go by the cable clock. It's 7:02. So
That's
sorry, I'm a
okay.
little late. Makes me
That's
cuckoo
okay. That's okay.
because, I used to date somebody who didn't mind being late and I was always on time. And well, do opposites attract? Yeah, but it didn't work out. Next subject. Okay, thanks. Bye. Anyway, seriously.
Well, a little side note to that. If you're
Yeah,
early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late. I
that's
don't like
me.
being late.
Yeah, that makes me crazy if I'm late. I feel like that when people are constantly late, it's like, do you not care about my time? Do you not? I think it's a power thing, but that's just me. But, we wouldn't even, we've got so many shows coming up. What Lisa and I were doing before we came on the air, it was, we have got shows that are going. We've got shows to the end of January and
Yep.
we've been working on February. So you all have to keep coming back because we have got some great topics coming up. But tonight,
Yeah. Tonight.
all right, Lisa, give me a
Opposite.
scenario there, honey. Give it to me.
So, say I'll use you as an example. You love to read books and you like to be home and you don't want to go out. You're not somebody that likes to party, but your significant other wants to go out every weekend and party. And
Okay.
it's not for you. You're completely opposite. It's been going on for a while. What do you do? How do you come to a compromise? He wants to party, you want to read a book.
Okay, here's my problem. Uh, I can see both sides to a coin with this, which really, makes
Mm.
me, I don't know, schizophrenic or something like this. But I can understand a lot of this. And I also think it changes as you get older.
Mm.
Number one, when you're younger, if you're in lust and you're in love and somebody smokes and you don't smoke, but you like the person and you're lusting after them, you're willing to look the other way. Okay, please don't smoke around me. Please don't smoke in my
Mm.
house, da 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 da. And you're willing to say, okay, all right. And then as you get older, you kind of say, no, no, not going to work. No, deal breaker. Got to go. Bye. See you. Nice
But
meeting
how
you.
much
And then
time has
it's
gone
done.
by? Wait a minute. How much time?
Um,
Like, how long do you do this
hmm,
opposite thing? You don't like the smoking, you don't smoke, there's a gnat in here. Um, and you're gonna like go on like 5 years?
I think when people really dislike something that somebody's doing and they ignore it and they're the opposite of it, I
Hmm.
think they go along with it. We'll give it 5 years. But I think eventually stuff builds up, anger builds up, resentment builds up because it's like, I'm compromising. I'm doing what you want. I don't want to do, I don't want to be a bitch or I don't want to be difficult, but I love you. I want to stick with you. But
Mm.
I think eventually, as time goes by, first you're like this, life is good, life is great, life is this. And then you start going, and you pull
Because
away and you go. Yeah.
if that's the case, the other person's gonna be like, "Well, you're trying to change me. You're
Yes.
trying to
And
change me."
and
And
then
they
that causes, yeah.
yeah,
And then
it's
that
a
causes
whole
resentment
show.
too. Okay. So now, okay, getting back to I like to read and he likes to
Mhm.
go out. Okay. There are two things to that. First of all, I think if you're going to compromise for somebody and you're going to say, okay, let's go out tonight, if you got to do it graciously. And if you're not going to do it graciously, don't
Mm.
do it. Say, go out, have a good time. I'll see you. I'm going to bed early. There's the difference. If somebody can't do something graciously for you, make a compromise, do you a favor. I'm not
Yeah.
interested in them doing the favor. Number one. But number two is the introvert can learn from the extrovert. The introvert can say, you know what? It wouldn't be bad if I went out
Mm.
and socialized and I went out and had a good time and I'm doing it for somebody I love. So yes, I can do it, doing it graciously. The extrovert might say, you know what? It wouldn't hurt me to stay in, maybe have some fun, if you know what I mean, wink, wink, and something like that. And they would stay in.
Yeah.
And so they can learn from one another if they're open with it. But I just really feel as we get older, we kind of get more set in our ways. And I've seen
Yeah.
that with people my age, all of a sudden, um, I used to love to go out, love
Mhm.
kicking up my heels, la, la, la. And now it's like, okay, 10 o'clock, I want to be in my jammies and I'm reading. I'm like, I
Yeah.
want to go to bed. I think
I tell
time
you, once
changes
the
you.
bra comes off, that's it, I'm done.
Yeah.
I put my bra back on for one person, and I don't see her on here. Donna.
Okay. So there you
Donna.
go.
It was
Well,
like, and it was early. It was like, I don't know, maybe 7:30. My bra was off. I was in bed, but I put my bra back on and I went out at nighttime to the point where,
bless your heart.
where we went because it was Spiro's in Rocky Point,
Hmm.
which I miss Spiro's so much. One of my favorite restaurants. But I would go there during the day. I would go there when
Hmm.
they open up. I think they used to
Hmm.
open up like for 1 p.m.
Hmm.
And I would go have lunch and just sit and people watch. And that was my thing. And when I showed up that night, and this is how much they knew me, the waitress, the waiters, the bartenders, they were like, "It's nighttime and you're here." I'm like, "Yeah, I had my bra off. She made me get my bra back on."
Oh my
So
God.
so I'm a homebody now.
Yeah. Hmm.
Like you, like, back in the
Hmm.
day, did I like to go out a little bit? I like the music, the wineries, stuff like that. But
Hmm.
I wouldn't, if Danny was a big partier and he wanted to go to the bars every week,
Hmm.
I wouldn't be able to do it. Like,
Well,
I can't hear myself think I ain't going.
Well, here's the thing. I think also once you're in an established relationship, opposites of I'm going out for a couple drinks at the bar, I'll see you later, and the wife is going, where are you going? That's definitely an opposite thing. That's not going to happen. It's
Yeah.
like, no, you're not going to go hang out in a bar. No, if you're
I
if
don't
you're
know. Like, I wouldn't, like, go
yeah,
ahead.
but it's not. No, no. I'm not saying that for Danny. No,
Yeah.
but just
In
the
general.
whole atmosphere. Yeah. But I
Yeah.
have to tell you what Denise is saying, and she just wrote after Dallas. LOL. Remember those days? Indeed, I do, Denise. And you're not going to say anything about those days, but yes, I remember those days. Those
I,
were the fun days. Those when I was an extrovert. Hi, Deb. How you
you can
doing?
private message me that, Denise. Now I'm curious.
Oh no, 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 no. You know what? What
Were you
happens
dancing
in
on the
Vegas.
tables?
Maybe that's a whole nother story. We should do, except we can't. We should do a story on my wild life, but no, we're not going to do that. Nope, nope, not
Not
going to.
yet.
Remember, you see, now here's another thing. We're going to do something on revenge porn down the line, and you know what? I don't know what y'all are thinking,
Hmm.
but when you do a naughty, naughty shot and then you break up with somebody and then you go, oh, he put it on the internet. What were you thinking? I'm just saying, but that's a whole
Yeah.
nother subject, you know. But opposites can learn a lot from one another, but I just don't know that it's going to work as you're older. I have to tell you, Lisa,
Mm.
okay, I respect people who have different political affiliations than I do. We've talked about this before. But for me, when I'm online and I've done online dating, we're going to do something on online dating too. We just
Hmm.
talked about that. But if online, they said, if you're this kind of supporter, swipe left, which means they're not interested in you. And I thought, wow, just because of my political beliefs that,
Mm.
because I respect what everybody has to say,
Yeah.
I always end up dating Republicans, which I have no problem with. But by now, you all realize that I'm probably not a Republican. But the thing is I always date Republicans, and for the most part,
Hmm.
everybody has been respectful of my political beliefs. But I'll tell you, have I gotten into some spirited dialogue with it? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But eventually, people do part. You know,
Hmm.
Denise, almost. Denise, I swear, don't make me come through this camera. Really,
You can private message me. It's okay. It's
don't you
okay.
dare.
It's
But
okay. I think with opposites attract, um,
mhm,
the big ones, the obvious ones are like the gym freaks
yeah,
with a couch potato. Because the couch potato eating the chips and stuff like that and not moving is going to bring down the gym. I'm not talking about you or me. Shh.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah.
But those are opposites that eventually I think over time, the gym freak is going to be like, I'm getting out there, I'm walking, I'm exercising, I'm working out, and you're just sitting on the couch all day, every
Hmm.
day.
Yeah.
That is going to take a toll on probably more so the gym freak.
Well, here's an interesting thing. In one of the studies that I saw,
Mm,
that of course you're going to notice somebody's physical attractiveness. You're going to notice whether you're into them or not into them.
yeah.
But a study was done where two sets of people, they talked to the person, and they found that when their personalities were similar, they oh,
I'm
Denise.
going to put that up.
Yeah, and
Denise, I'm going to friend you on Facebook.
please do,
I
please
have
do.
wild days too. Listen, I'm
We
not.
had our fun. That's why I don't have to go crazy now, because it's like I have those memories, Denise, and that's where they will stay. Oh my God, she's too funny. Anyway, no, that's okay. We had a good time when we were younger. We were in our 20s, 30s, and never mind. And okay, now I lost my train of thought. Wait a minute. Okay, so the studies were done.
Yeah.
Okay, and nobody saw anybody, and they thought that they would be more into the person that was the more attractive person, but they were more into the person that had the personality that shared their values. Because you tend to be more attracted to people that are sharing your values, have similarities to
Yeah.
you, i.e., maybe how you grow up, what your values are, what your
Hmm.
background was. And that tends to work a lot more than
Yeah.
somebody that has, something that is um, in contrast to what your values are. Did that make sense? Did that
Yes.
make sense? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. But it's something called similarity attraction. Okay. Values, core beliefs, hobbies, and like personalities. We prefer people who think like us. And
Did
that
they
makes sense. Yeah.
do they have a statistic on the people that are together based off of that information? They got together, they liked each other, they're with each other, married, and statistically speaking, I wonder if they're still married or did it fall off eventually?
That's a good
I'm
question, but
curious.
I don't have that information. But considering the divorce rate is so high, which I think is another show we should do. I'm writing it down right now. Why is our
Hmm.
divorce rate so high? But considering that, okay, it just went out of my head. Okay, Lisa, come on, pick it up, baby.
Oh.
Oh my God. We don't need booze, folks. Let me tell
Nope.
you, it's just,
I
we're just,
got pineapple Perrier water.
I have great value Walmart water. Yummy.
There you
Anyway,
go. There
yeah,
you go.
seriously. Um,
I'm
80% of people believe that opposites attract. 80% of us believe that
mm,
opposites do attract. Um, I don't believe it anymore. Just as we get older, I don't believe it anymore. I
I
just don't.
mean, I I don't want to call him out. Obviously I was married previously. We were together for a
Mhm,
long, long time. We
mhm,
didn't have the same uh likes, like hobby wise and stuff like that. And we were together for a long time, you
mhm.
know.
But for some reason, you grew apart.
Yeah, I mean there's several reasons for that.
Okay.
And I think that's one of them, most
Mhm,
definitely. But
mhm,
you know, I I guess in a way at the beginning of the show, you basically said it well, and I guess I fit into that category. Like you you're the beginning part, you're in
yeah.
love and you're doing your
Mhm,
thing and it lasts for so long, and then over time you kind of do say to yourself like, oh, I'm not really a fan of this, but this is how we're going
mhm.
to roll, so I'm just going to go with it, and vice versa. So I think that would be an example of that
Yeah.
relationship. um
I think there is a study that said, can you learn to like or live with your partner's differences? Can you learn to just say, all right, okay, but go ahead.
Here's the
Go ahead.
thing,
Yeah.
and it's taken it a step further.
Mm-hmm.
When you do that,
Mm-hmm.
and I know this from experience, when you do that,
Okay.
you're and there's children involved,
Mm-hmm.
young children, in the home.
Okay.
They're watching you live that way. So you're teaching them all the wrong things about love and relationships and everything in between.
Mm-hmm.
So most often, not always, they follow suit. And if that's not the life that you're happy with, they're seeing that, and what's that really telling them? So when they,
Well,
go off and leave the nest, you've given them tools to fly, but they watched what you were willing to put up with or the differences, the opposites, or whatever the case may be. And do you want the same for them?
no. But
That's
I have a question there. No, of course not. But the question is when you see something you don't like, hey, Joanne, um, when you
uh,
see something you don't like about your partner, could it be a question of what is that triggering in me that I might have to learn and don't like about myself? It can also be a learning experience too. It
yeah,
also can be a major headache that, oh, okay, enough of you. I've had enough of this and I want out. Finished. But have you ever thought of that it might be just something that you're supposed to um, learn and pay attention to? Because sometimes when I see something in somebody that I don't like, um, I sometimes I think to myself, being trying to be a positive person, what is this supposed to teach me? What am I supposed to learn here?
yeah,
And sometimes I don't get the answer, and it's like, oof, and I find myself getting madder and madder and madder, and
yeah,
trying to figure out what triggers me.
yeah.
Because sometimes, when you're getting angry, in any relationship, let's just take it away from, um, hi, Lori, any let's take it away from a love relationship, but when somebody does something you don't like, does that trigger something in you that you might see in yourself? Could
Mm,
that be possible?
could be.
You know,
Yeah, I don't know. I'm like this delightful perfectness, so I don't know. No, just
you absolutely are.
kidding. I'm kidding. I
No,
mean,
she's
no, seriously.
yeah.
It could. And
Hmm.
does that get you angry because you see some truth there and you don't like what
Yeah.
you're seeing about yourself? That
Yeah.
could be, you
Yeah.
know.
But
What about in relationships, let's say you're the, loud talker yeller, like everything that
how
you
did you
want
know?
everything that you want to express comes off as like you're yelling. And then you
Yeah.
have a soft spoken partner, spouse, whoever
Hmm.
that, how do you and they don't like that, you
Well, I
know?
think when somebody maintains, when I'm yelling at somebody and they're maintaining a certain amount of calm, it kind of takes the wind out of my sails to be like, well, I guess that's not working, so I guess I better bring it down a notch or
Yep.
something like that. But I also think that that opposite can balance you out.
Yeah.
Where, okay, I'm getting mad, I'm flying off the handle, and this person is staying calm. Maybe I'm supposed to learn not to shoot from the hip.
Yeah.
You
I
know.
saw this little skit. It might have been from a movie. I don't know. It was on Instagram and it was this woman, this man sitting at a table. The guy
Hmm.
says to the woman, "I think we should break up." And she's
Yeah.
just sitting there eating her cereal, whatever she's eating, and she's like, "Okay." And he gets annoyed with her because she's not upset, angry, crying, yelling, nothing. She's just like, "Okay." So he gets annoyed and says something to her, and she's like, "Wait a minute. You're getting defensive with me and you're the one breaking up with me. And he's like, how are you not like getting angry? Like it was total opposite. Like his reaction, her reaction, she was just like, I think it's a good idea if you, pack your stuff and leave today. And he was losing it. I don't know if it was a movie. I don't know what I saw. It was fast. It was late last night. But I thought that was interesting, where you're in an argument and they're two opposite ways of expressing themselves, and the one wants you to have a reaction that you're not having and getting annoyed. Go ahead.
I have a story exactly that. I was dating this guy, and eventually women's intuition, another idea, women's intuition. Okay, I'm just writing this down as we go.
I love it.
Now, I was dating this guy, and he said something akin to, "Let's meet at so and so at for drinks." And I said,
Mhm.
he's not doesn't want to pick me up. Okay, something's up here. So we go to the bar, we sit down, we have drinks, and we have a drink. And he said, "This isn't working for me. This isn't working out." And I did the exact. I said, "Okay." And he was so flabbergasted that I said, "All right, okay, all right." And he said, "Oh my gosh, I feel so bad. I wish you'd slap me or something." I said, "Not going to happen." I said, "No,
Yeah,
if that's how you feel, that's how you feel." And, men or women are opposites in that way, because men expect women to go, "Wah," and when they don't,
yeah,
it throws them off. It's like,
yeah.
well,
It was a great skit, and it's great that how you handle that, because most men do assume a woman is going to be like so reactive. She ended up saying something he said something to her, and she says, "What do you want to do? Go cuddle? Like, what do you expect?" Like, what
good
you
for
think
her.
was
Yeah.
gonna happen? But she was so ridiculously calm, and he was losing himself. And I was like,
Hmm.
huh,
Yeah.
normally the men do expect that. So that right there is a little bit of an opposite.
I think as women get older, they have less patience for the nonsense.
And we
And
just
then,
don't care.
yeah, and it's like, yeah, okay, what, bye, adios, see ya. And,
You know?
and yeah, I mean, unfortunately, a number of my breakups, it was like, "Are we breaking up?" "Yeah." "Oh, okay. All right, good. God bless, see ya." I don't get mad anymore. I don't go off the deep end or
Hmm.
anything like that. I went off the deep end once. And that was somebody over, oh God, 15 years ago. And
Yeah.
he had moved back to California, and, I didn't want him to go. And he said, "I'm moving back. That's it. Goodbye. Good luck.
Yeah.
See ya." And yeah, I was heartbroken. But, oh, we'll have to talk about the extremes you go to when somebody breaks up with you and you really don't want to be broken up with. That was painful. And
Oh,
I actually just looked at my emails that I sent him, um, you know, begging him. Oh my God, I cringed at. It's like, I mean,
uh,
seriously, it was
yeah.
serious begging and everything else. But you learn, and now it's kind
Yeah.
of like, yeah, I'm good. Okay, bye, good. All right, see ya. And but you learn. When you're younger,
Hmm.
I think when you're younger, if there's a lot of opposites going on, um, I think, let me ask you this. We're also going to do something. Hi, Jace. On single and loving it. But I have a question. Is it a singles world? Is it a singles
Mm.
world, or is it a couples world? You
I don't
know,
know. I don't
because
know.
because
Why?
I
You think it
think
is?
I think it's a couples world. Yeah, I think, yeah, absolutely. I think it's a couples world. And when people look at you, if you've never been married, I mean, pardon me, I'm divorced. I've had, several long-term relationships, but
Mhm.
sometimes people will look at you and like, and this is opposites. Why aren't you married? Why don't you have
I
kids? Why don't you
say,
have
wow,
this? Why
you
don't you have
that's
that?
I say that's brilliant.
Well, Lisa, you see, here's the interesting thing. Lisa and I, um, are complete opposites, actually. And we get along for a while there. We would speak maybe once or twice a
Yeah.
year, and we would pick up the phone and be like, hey, hey. And,
Yep.
we'd be on the phone an hour, 2 hours at a time. But me, I'm divorced white female. I don't have kids. I work out of my home. Lisa is, on her second marriage with a blended family. And so, what we try to do, we are opposites, but we really try to bring in, um, our different opinions or input
Yeah.
into a situation, which I really do enjoy. And, when we're working on the shows, point blank, we'll look at one another and say, I don't like that. Okay, cross it off. And that's what makes it fun because I love doing this. I really do. And when Lisa and I first met, oh my God, 6 years ago, Lisa, it was 6 years ago.
Yeah. That's
Um,
insane.
yeah,
Aw.
6 years. And I remember she walked through the door and the energy was like, hey,
This
hey, and just,
crazy Italian chick walking through the door.
oh my God, it was awesome.
But
But
here's the
okay,
thing. I can do, and then I want to get to what Jace just said. I
yeah.
could, my relationship with Danny, and we're married and we've been together for 8 years now.
Hmm.
We work together, we live together, all that stuff. Like, I'm okay being alone. Like, he's okay being alone. Like, if we ever went our separate ways, like, I'm very content. And I don't know what that means or what that is, or if most people can do that. Like, I was always the one. I can go to a restaurant. I can leave, go to a restaurant right now and sit there and eat something and just chill out and relax.
Hmm.
Not many people can do that, whether they're in a relationship or not.
Well, I think usually, how often do you see a woman eating at a restaurant alone? Not often, right? Because it's the opposite
Mm,
of, oh, we
yeah.
feel so bad for her. She's by
Yeah.
herself instead of being with a husband or something like that. Again,
My
it's opposites.
my first marriage, the honeymoon, we went on our honeymoon and he's a golfer. So he brought us golf clubs on the honeymoon and he went golfing. And we went to Jamaica. And you know how they do like these little contests and stuff, like all these couple things? I was alone. I got I got up, I did darts. I won. But I
Well, good.
remember one of the Jamaican guys, he was like, "Are you okay? Why are you alone?" Like they thought
Oh,
something
no.
was wrong, and I'm like, "No." I'm like, "He's golfing. I'm having the time of my life." You know? It was a good time, but I don't think many people in a relationship can do that. Either you're together with stuff or you're not. Um, I think that falls under a few different type of topics. Opposites,
Hmm. In
alone
the long
time in
run,
marriage. Yeah.
I just don't think opposites work. Not, I think it was Karen got married in Jamaica. Okay, it's two of you. Anyway, um, Karen, you eloped, didn't you, Ren? Karen. Anyway, okay. Okay, look at the squirrel. I'm back. I'm back.
All
Okay.
right, let's see what Jay
All right.
says. He goes,
Yeah.
I'll be married for 12 years next month. I find it very accommodating being married. Honestly, I'd rather spend time with her than anyone else. Well, that is just absolutely freaking beautiful. That is beautiful.
That's good to hear.
I love that. And what's he saying? I can be alone. I was single before I was married. I survived being alone, but spending time with my wife is always a priority to me. Aw, you're gonna get
Mhm.
lucky, aren't you?
Probably.
That is beautiful. All kidding aside, that is absolutely beautiful, and that's how it should be, and that's how there's those rare people that can be that way. Danny and I, you and Stephanie, you know.
Debbie says opposites can work if you respect the differences. You need to have a common goal, be it family or
Mm,
children. I agree with that.
What
Remember, you
if,
can't.
what
Oh,
if, and here's the thing, speaking of children, your
okay.
parenting styles are opposite. How you feel the kids should be parented as opposed to your spouse. There can be conflict with that. I'll tell you this, Danny and I, we don't have children together. We have 7 combined. Um, his,
Wow.
for the most part, we think the same with many parenting things,
Hmm.
but not all of them.
Hmm.
I will tell you that. So what do you do when that situation comes up? You have, dad's like, let them do whatever they want, and mom's like, no, they're not, they can't,
Hmm.
go ride a motorcycle at age 5. Like, what do you do?
Deb says yes, and that will happen because you've probably been raised differently. Yeah, that would make sense. That would make sense. I
Yeah.
can't comment on the kids' stuff because my kids have 4 legs, so
Well,
then one
you
of
can, we
yeah.
we don't agree on
Hmm.
doggy parenting, Danny
Hmm.
and I. I
Oh.
can't think offhand certain the situations.
Hmm.
But there's some differences there. I think when we first got Bella, potty training. You don't
Hmm.
feed them late at night or let them drink water late at night. They're gonna be peeing all night.
Uh,
He didn't understand that. Like, you let the water stay down all the time. Like, well, she's gonna be peeing. She's like 2 months old. Like, she's gonna be peeing.
who knew?
You know. So I tried to gain control of that, but we didn't agree on our doggy parenting.
Well, Deb says you need to be united in parenting and discipline, and that should be discussed between behind closed doors. I would agree
Hmm.
with you. I'd say a lot of people always want to have their input and always have an opinion, but opinions are like noses. Everybody's got one.
Hmm.
So I'll tell
Yeah.
you that the thing about children is, one day, a very good friend of mine, her kid was just being a real pain in the ass, real pain in the ass. And, you know, I said something politely to her, and she said, well, you got to pick your battles. I said, okay, you've got to pick your battles. Okay. And then I said something which I almost had my head handed to me on a platter. And I said, well, I guess you have to pick your battles. And, I guess I'm not a mom. I said, but I certainly know good behavior from bad. And oh boy, I almost had my,
Good for you.
oh, well, yeah, that I almost got my head handed to me on a platter. But
Yeah.
now I just be quiet. If I see some kid, somebody's kid misbehaving, I just sit there and let mom handle it. And I don't say a word. So, because also I think this is interesting. Single people who don't have kids have a totally different opinion. Hi, TJ. Have a totally different opinion of how a parent should handle their kids. And I will tell you, single people, keep your mouth shut. Learned a lesson, and I'll never do it again. So,
Whenever I see a kid randomly acting up and I don't
mhm.
see a parent like right there next to them, I say, "Where's your mother?" I
Really?
sure do. I'm like, "Where's your mother?" It's happened it doesn't happen all the time, rare occasions in recent years. If I've seen a kid acting up and they're like close to me and they're taking up my space, like, "Where's your mother?" I have no
Good for you.
no problem doing that. I'm
Actually, I
not
kind of like
mean
that.
or nasty. I'm not, I didn't, I don't go pulling them by their ear like I kind of want to in the back of my mind. But, if they're really acting up or if they're in risk of danger, I will do
Yeah,
that.
absolutely. Let's see. Jay says, my wife and I just discussed where to go for our 20th anniversary. We negotiated and we're going to go to Hawaii. Good for you. And we aren't bringing the kids with us. It's our anniversary, not a family time. Good for you. And Anna says, there is nothing wrong with that. Jay says, I ask adults where your mother when the kids are acting up. I'm going to remember that. Because now I'm a chicken, which I see, I just sit there. I don't say a word. And Deb says, 3 things you don't discuss: politics, religion, and other people's kids. Learn that lesson. Trust me. On all 3. Yes.
Yeah.
I don't discuss that at all. But anyway, I just feel like in the long run, I don't think if you don't share the same values, personality traits, or anything else, reread that.
Yeah.
I ask adults, where is your mother when they are at? Oh, oh. Okay, Jace, why don't you just elaborate on that a little bit? You ask the adults, where is your mother when
If
they
they're
are
acting
acting up?
up, yeah,
Okay,
that's a good idea.
okay, good. All right. Who knew? Seriously. All right. So I think we kind of cut went off on the rails a little bit for
Yeah.
about opposites, but in my professional opinion, I don't think that it'll work in the long run anymore. I don't know
Mhm.
how you feel about that, Lisa, but in the long run, I just I
She's
just
been
don't
trying to control me for years, Jace.
want some bacon. I remember that. Do you remember
Yeah.
that? Yeah, okay.
Oh, yeah. She's
But
funny.
in the long run, I don't think opposites work, especially as you get older. I just don't think it
Yeah.
it it works. I just think you get too old and crotchety where you want to deal with anybody else's opposites of values or anything else like that. How do you feel like this, Lisa, for closing it up?
I feel I guess I feel the same, I really just I don't know. I don't know, Helen. I just don't know.
For God's sakes. For God's sake.
I don't
Okay.
know because I feel like, real quick, I feel like, if you're opposite, you can do your thing, he could do his thing or vice versa, whatever.
Uh-huh.
And just learn to live with all of it, like I don't
Yeah, I'm too
know.
old for that. Yeah.
Unless it's something that's going to directly impact you negatively. If you're an opposite and you just don't care for somebody else's hobby, just ignore it. No?
Well, I'm not talking
I don't
about a
know if you
hobby.
can.
I mean, if somebody wants to go skiing and I'll say, well, I'll meet you at the bar and you have fun, go skiing, that's one thing. But I'm
Yeah.
more or less getting into values. Like I said, when I've done the online dating thing, and people
Yeah.
said if you're a Biden supporter, if you're a Trump supporter, if you're anything supporter, swipe left. And it's like, wow, you're not even give me a chance to get to know me. But okay, if those are your values and you feel that strongly about it, okay, that's fine. That means, you're not willing to listen to any kind of whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
But I'm too old to get into that stuff now. It's like I want somebody that shares my values, shares my interests. And right
Yeah.
now, I mean, 20 and 30, it used to be the OBI, and the OBI is gone. Did you ever go to the OBI?
No.
Oh my God, the Oak Beach Inn. I'll bet people in this list went to the Oak Beach Inn. Denise Graham Daniels,
Yeah.
Debbie Phillips. I
Uh,
don't know about Joanne. Let's see, maybe Ren did. Lori, I don't know. But those were fun times. But yeah, good memories. Yeah, Debbie says yes. So there we go. Okay, OBI two. I've got two more. Okay, we should talk about three. Wow, my friends are alcoholics, but in a good way. No, I'm kidding, 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 kidding. All right, kidding.
all
Next week,
right.
what are we talking about next week?
Next week, online dating, exploring the digital love world.
And
Ooh.
have I got stories to tell?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if
So,
you do have comments, topics that you would like to discuss, you can reach us,
mhm,
Lisa Helen podcast at gmail.com.
mhm.
Give us some ideas. We're open to anything.
Yes.
Yeah.
By the way, a lot of you sent suggestions in for Lisa and I to talk about, and
Hmm.
they are coming up on the list. So thank you very much for
Yeah.
doing that. And
And you could just post them too. You could post right on our Facebook page. If you have a topic idea, put it right on
absolutely,
there, you know?
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And if you need a producer, producer Jace, Jayce, producerjace.com. He is awesome and very patient with somebody who is not technically savvy. We'll just leave it at that. Yes, Debbie, we've got that. We're going to be discussing polyamory. It's on the list, actually.
Yeah.
And also, if you want to find us, Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, Google Podcast, Pocket Cast, and Radio Public. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. It was a lot of fun tonight. We went off the rails, but sometimes that happens. It was a lot of fun.
Have a good night, everybody.
Have a great night, everybody. Bye.
Bye.